my name is Franz Spohn, and I'm here at Nasco, and I want to discuss the often overlooked transparent base in screen printing and the extender base in relief printing. These are both water-based inks, and I want to take you through to show how you can expand your color range and building up images if you incorporate the use of these materials. All right, first off, we're going to work with relief. I've got a number of carved blocks here, and we'll print them, and you can kind of see the expansion of the color range depending on how transparent the colors are. These are the Printmaster inks. They're really high quality relief inks, and out of the tube they're very powerful, very highly pigmented, and I'm going to be using a blue, and I'm also going to make a green with the blue. But I want to emphasize what happens when you add the extender base to your inks. So I'm going to put out a little extender base here. All right, and if I want to work with the idea of making my ink transparent, I want to start with the amount of extender base that I might expect to use in printing however many copies I want to print, and then add pigment to that in order to make it the transparency I want. If you start with a color and then try to add the transparent base to that or the extender base to that, then you may end up over mixing and you've got a lot of ink that you're not going to be able to use. All right, so I'm now going to put out a little bit of the transparent blue. I mean of the opaque blue, the blue right out of the tube. Like I said, I'm going to just add a tiny bit of the blue to the extender base. And when I'm making a transparent color, once I get it thoroughly mixed, I like to test it out, put a little bit on my finger, and then put it on paper. So in this case, you can see this is right out of the tube blue, and this is the blue that has been thinned out. What's happening is this is more transparent, so the ground, the white color, comes through and gives me a lighter blue. The reason I like creating a lighter blue like this rather than adding white, then I can get more interaction between the colors, and instead of putting another color on top of that and getting a pastel color, which would happen if you added white to it, you get more of an intense color. All right, so I have my transparent blue mixed up. Next thing I want to do is make a green. So I'm going to add a little bit of a little more yellow out here. My extender base, where'd it go? Okay, do the same thing. I'll get a quantity of the extender base out there. I'm going to take just a little bit of my green. And you want to make sure you get this thoroughly mixed. You don't want any streaks. A little tap out. So now I have a nice transparent green. Okay. The first color I'm going to print is a split fountain. That's when I print one color with another. I'll spread that out on that side. Spread this out on that side. And then I'm going to take a little bit more of the extender base. And I can put just a little bit in between the two. Take my brayer, I'm going to start to roll it out. Let's kind of get that green to I'm going to move the brayer a little bit to the right, to my right, a little bit to the left, so I can get those colors to blend. Then I'm going to flip the block over. Ink it up. Now print. When I'm printing on, I'm using a mulberry paper, which is good for relief printing, but I'm also going to use a Baron to print the back of it, but since I'm going to be doing several copies or several layers, the more that I rub on the back of the mulberry paper, the more it pills it, or it kind of digs the paper and isn't the best for it. So what I'm going to do is take a scrap piece of paper and use it in between my Baron and the printing paper. I still get enough pressure to get a good impression, but then it preserves the backing of my paper. Okay, I'll lift it up. And so you can see that there's a gradual kind of atmospheric blend from a light blue to a light green. So that'll be my background, and then I'll start printing some more colors on top of that to show the interaction of transparent colors as one falls on top of the other. Okay, I printed a yellow on top of what we had printed before that, and now I've mixed a magenta. This is right out of the tube, and this is the magenta with some of the extender base. I've added it and rolled it out, and then we're going to put it on top of here. When it falls on the white paper, it's going to be more like a pink, and when it falls on top of the yellow, it's going to look more like a red. Now, since I have quite a bit of the block cut away, and the edges have been cut around, sometimes as I roll up on it, then if the brayer goes to one side or the other, I'll start picking up some of the textured marks in the background. If that is undesirable, what you can do is maybe take a scrap piece of mounted linoleum block and put it on either side, and this acts as a support to keep the brayer from going down into the textures. On top of that green gives you kind of an odd gray, more of a reddish color on top of the yellow, and then a nice pink on top of the white. Okay, the next color is going to be a transparent blue. This is what it looks like by itself on that paper. We'll see what it looks like. When the blue goes on top of the magenta, it should turn it purple. When it's on top of the yellow, it should go green. When it's on just the raw paper, it should be that light blue. As you add one transparent layer of color on top of another, it just starts multiplying those secondary colors. So you could do a 10 or 12 colored print with only 5 or 6 blocks. Okay, for the last color, I mixed blue and black. I want a very dark color, but I don't want to go with a just out of the tube black. It has a tendency to kind of dull the other colors that I've already developed with my transparent colors. And in this case, I've rolled them up on the block. They're opaque, and I want to kind of make a contrast between the opacity of the key image, which is mainly line and a little bit of texture, up against the more kind of watercolor effect of the colors that I've built up so far. There's Mr. Bug. Okay, now I want to continue talking about the use of transparent or extender base with the Speedball water-based inks. This time we're going to talk about the screen printing inks. This is an image that I've done earlier, and you can see that when I had the yellow down, that I printed a transparent blue on top of it, and I was able to get a very nice kind of reddish orange on top of the yellow. But when that transparent red was printed on top of the white, I got this very vibrant pink. So these two colors were created at the same time. This went over the yellow, that one on the raw paper. The feeling of shadowing on the gray elephant bit here was created by that same, by a transparent blue. And that transparent blue on top of the yellow created a green. On top of the pink, it created a purple. So with layering transparent colors on top of each other, you can get quite a few additional colors with that. So to demonstrate a little bit more directly, I have out of the container magenta, processed red, blue, yellow. These are thinned down about 50% with the transparent base. And so I don't even, just using an open screen. I get a spoon, spatula. Yep. Okay. So I'm going to just take a smaller squeegee, and I'm just going to make a little swatch of the transparent magenta. And very quickly, I'll just clean the squeegee off. All right. Now, I'm going to take the transparent yellow, move down the screen a little bit. Let's go in this direction here. We'll take transparent blue. Put that in that part of the screen. And then let's kind of go on the diagonal here. So just with those three transparent colors, the blue on the white paper, light blue, blue on top of the yellow, a nice green, blue on top of the magenta, a purplish color, the whole combination is kind of this odd looking gray. So you get quite a spectrum of colors by using the transparency. Now you can also get different variations depending what the ratio of the transparent base is of the pigment. If they were less transparent, then maybe that blue on top of the yellow would make a brighter bluish green, more of kind of a bluish purple. If the magenta, the processed red, were a little bit stronger, a little less transparent base, then the same thing will happen. You'll have a little brighter influence of the red on the other colors. So when you plan the way that you're going to print, if you can anticipate different layering, then you can get a lot more colors and you can expand the range of what you're printing with. Okay, so this is Franz Spohn using the transparent base for the Speedball water-based relief inks and screen printing inks, and hope you have fun with your own projects.